How did you manage your finances, compared to your peers?
Lie, I didn't manage my finances that well. I could have done a lot better, But yes, I did put away a lot of money, for retirement. But everything else now starts to come into play. Yeah, I put away a lot of money when I was playing ball, right? But that's still sitting. If we want to talk about finances, but without investing in myself and my mental health and my family, there will be no financially being able to invest. So I had to invest in myself. I think that's probably the best investment I've ever made in my life thus far.
Okay, I'm definitely glad you touched on, you putting money away while you were playing, because, while you were playing ball, I wanted to ask you, how did you manage your finances, compared to your peers?
Lie, I didn't manage my finances that well. I could have done a lot better, But yes, I did put away a lot of money, for retirement. But being a young kid, this is very hard. And I grew up in a family with dealing with finances, and that's how I knew what to put away and things like that. But with that lucrative cash, as a young man, fresh out of college, you making 15 to 20 grand a week, and it's you change your whole wardrobe. You getting buying new furniture, like especially your first year playing. That's when you spend your most money, right? And then once you solidify that, you getting furniture and all this stuff and all your appliances, and then it kind of settled down after that. But then you go out, you go travel. You go hit Miami, Vegas, you hitting all Houston, you hitting all these New York, you hitting all these nice little hot spots, and you're spending unnecessary money. And at that time, you're just having fun, right? And what you fail to realize, and sometimes when we're in that position, is we think that it's just that's nonstop. But at any moment, that could be taken away from you, right? And I've learned that as a young guy, which I wasn't a high draft pick or anything like that. I was a free agent. Stuck around a lot longer than guys that were drafted, fortunately. But never been on a practice squad. But I didn't. At that young age, and you making that type of money, sometimes you just feel like you got it all figured out, and you don't, and you just feel like that's going to be sitting there forever. But it's going to come a point in time where that runs out, and you no longer have that. So when I was in a position after my first year going into Jacksonville, like literally after my first couple years in Kansas City, like going into my second year, I was on and off the roster. My second year in Kansas City, and like I was literally pretty much just spending. Right, wasn't generating income, but I was just spending because bills had to be paid. Right, literally, it got to the point where I had to move to New York because I ended up signing with the Jets for a little bit. So I had all those expenses, moving expenses, all that stuff. The Jets released me probably like a few months during the off season, and like literally on my way down to Jacksonville to sign and play with Jacksonville, I had maybe about $8,000 to my name in my account. And I was just an eye opener right there. Like, yo, I have to manage my finances a lot better, because you never know when that time is going to come of it being taken away from you, right? And my financial mindset changed moving forward from Jacksonville on, right? And so that was a huge eye opener. I was also in a situation, when I was transitioning, from the CFL. You don't get paid much out there. Plus, you got a conversion rate, right? And transitioning into this industry to go full time, to be able to create more opportunities for people that's in that transition phase, right? As an athlete, all we know is that sport, right? And sometimes it's very difficult once that sport is either taken away from you or you walk away from it. It's very hard to find your niche into something else. It's because you're so programmed doing one thing. It's hard to get out of that programming and then reprogram yourself. So basically what I do, man, it creates that opportunity, and it can't create that and it puts me in a position to be that financial coach.
So can you talk to us about, because I honestly feel that, football and athletic, sports relates to business, hand in hand. Do you feel that,
Yeah.
do you feel that way as well? Or what do you feel about that?
Yeah. Well, especially as a professional athlete, or even you're your own entity. You're a part of an organization. You're just that independent contractor within that organization. You have to perform, to generate that income. It's no different than being in being a self-employed, working off commission. It's the same thing. You have to perform, because if you don't perform, you get replaced. You no longer, enter that in. And it's the same exact thing. You got to have that mindset. The harder you work, the work that you put in the gym, lifting weights and trying to take care of your body and doing all that to stay on the field, as a business owner, it's the same exact thing. You have to constantly do your research. You have to constantly clean up on your back office. You got to constantly, that's your workout, right? You got to constantly see what other businesses are out there doing, seeing what other people in your industry is doing, how they're generating more business, how their business grow, how do they build their business. Like, you have to dive in on these things, because if you don't, then you're going to get left behind, and that's why, like, a lot of people are scared to start their own business. A lot of people, like, they're scared to fall. And as an athlete, as a defensive back, a lot of players are scared to get beat. Yeah. Right. And hey, you sitting there and you playing 10 yards off a guy because you don't want to get beat deep. But guess what? They dinking and dunking right in front of you, and they still getting first downs. Fact. Right. So now you're playing scared, and you're not growing, and you're not, So in business, and diving in, you can't be scared. You can't be scared to fail. Failing is a learning opportunity. So as long as you get back up and keep going, you're gonna keep growing. Right? You're gonna keep growing, because those little failures is gonna set up your success. And now you're not afraid to fail, because you know what it's like failing. Right? And everybody thinks just because you fail that it's over for you. No, it's only over for you if you quit. Right? It's only over for you if you quit. Because when we look at professional athletes, the top player on the team, we could talk about basketball or whatever, shooting game winners. They don't hit them all. Steph Curry don't hit every game winner. He shoot, right? But does that stop him from shooting? Right? It doesn't. So if he's going to continue to shoot those game winners, guess what? Now his greater chance of being a closer, a clutch closer, you know what I'm saying, are a lot better, because now he's constantly shooting. He's not scared. And we can't be scared to step out on faith and follow our dreams and goals of where we're trying to go.
Big facts. What they say, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, huh?
Exactly.
Big facts. Yeah. Big facts.
Man. How you doing? This Tyron Brackenridge here on FYI, FLI, former NFL player, former CFL player, now financial professional. And make sure you guys go out and download that FYI FLI app that's coming soon.